All right, let's talk about the cloud. It's a term we hear all the time, right? But what about all those other letters that always seem to pop up with it? IaaS, PaaS, SaaS? Sounds kind of like a mouthful. Well, today we're going to demystify the whole thing and break down what it all really means. So let me just start by asking you something. Does it ever feel like your technology, your whole IT setup, is actually holding you back? Like it's this constant, expensive battle just to keep things running, let alone try to grow? Yeah, if you're nodding along right now, you are definitely not alone. To really get this, let's picture a small software firm, okay? They've got a fantastic product, they're super ambitious, but they've totally hit a wall. They're stuck. And why? Because they've got a small team, a tight budget, and they just can't afford to buy and manage all the servers they need to expand. Think about it. Every single dollar they spend on a piece of hardware is a dollar they can't spend on making their product even better. It's a classic catch-22, and it's the perfect setup for where we're going next. Okay, so this brings us to a big showdown. The old way versus the new way. We're talking on-premise versus the cloud. And trust me, this is where everything changes. Not just for businesses, but for that little software firm we were just talking about. And wow, when you put them side by side, the difference is just night and day. With an on-premise setup, if you need to scale up, it's incredibly expensive. And scaling down, forget about it. You're stuck with hardware you've already paid for. But with the cloud, you just pay for what you use. It's that simple. On-premise servers mean you need a physical room, cooling, constant maintenance, all that headache. In the cloud, the provider handles all of that. And security? The level of security and disaster recovery the big cloud providers offer is something a small firm could only dream of building themselves. So what is the cloud really when you strip it all away? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just getting all your computing services, we're talking servers, storage, software, you name it, delivered right to you over the internet. It's kind of like switching from owning a power plant in your backyard to just plugging into the electrical grid. You don't own the infrastructure, you just access it and pay for what you use. All right, but before we get into the nitty-gritty of IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, we've got to talk about how the cloud is actually deployed. And I've got a great little analogy for this that makes it super easy to understand. Just think about how you get around town. First up, you've got the public cloud. This is like taking the bus. It's cheap, it's convenient, and it gets you where you need to go. It's a shared resource that big providers like Amazon or Google own, and pretty much anyone can hop on. The only thing is, well, you're sharing the ride with a bunch of other people. Then there's the private cloud. Now, this is like having your own car. It's all yours. The whole infrastructure is dedicated just to your company. That means you get way more control, more privacy, but just like owning a car, you're also responsible for all the maintenance and all the costs that come with it. And finally, we've got the hybrid cloud. This is like calling a cab or a rideshare. You get the best of both worlds, right? You can combine the public and private clouds. So you might use the public cloud, our bus, for everyday non-sensitive stuff, but keep your super critical data safe and sound in your private cloud, your own car. It's all about flexibility. Okay, so we know how the cloud is set up. Now for the main event, the 3 service models: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. And really, it all boils down to one simple question. How much of the work do you want to do versus how much do you want to hand off to someone else? So to really appreciate what these models do for you, let's look at the starting points, the baseline. This is the old school on-premise way of doing things. And as you can see, under the You Manage column, well, you manage everything, from the physical cables in the ground to the servers, the operating system, all the way up to the actual apps and data. It is a ton of work. So let's jump to our first as-a-service model, IaaS, which stands for Infrastructure as a Service. This is the foundational layer. Think of it like renting a plot of land and a set of power tools. The provider gives you the basic building blocks, the virtual servers, the storage, the networking, and you build whatever you want on top. It's perfect for IT pros who want a ton of control but really don't want to deal with a physical data center. And here's what that looks like on our stack. See that? The provider now takes care of all that foundational stuff at the bottom. The networking, the storage, the actual servers, that's their problem now. But you're still in charge of managing the operating system, all the software in between, and of course, your own apps and data. They give you the infrastructure, you do the rest. Okay, moving up the ladder, we get to PaaS, Platform as a Service. This takes things a big step further. If IaaS was renting land and tools, PaaS is like renting a fully equipped workshop. The provider gives you not just the infrastructure, but the whole environment you need to build, test, and run your applications. The whole point is so that developers can just focus on one thing, writing great code. And let's look at our stack again. See how much more of it is now handled by the provider? With PaaS, they're managing everything from the servers all the way up through the operating system and the stuff that makes it run. Seriously, all you have to worry about are your applications and your data. That's it. It just makes the whole process of building software so much simpler. And that brings us to the top of the pyramid, SaaS, or Software as a Service. And honestly, this is the one you already know and use every single day. We're talking about things like Gmail or Netflix or Dropbox. It's just software. It's a finished product that you use over the internet. You don't manage anything, you don't build anything, you just log in and use it. Zero IT hassle. And if we look at the stack for SaaS, well, there you have it. The provider manages literally everything, the whole shebang, from top to bottom. Your only job, log in and get to work. Whew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground here. We went from you managing everything to you managing almost nothing. So let's bring it all home with one final comparison to make it crystal clear which IaaS might be the right one for you. All right, this right here is your ultimate cheat sheet. With IaaS, on the left, you manage the most, the applications and the platform they run on. With PaaS, there in the middle, you just manage your apps and data. And with SaaS, on the right, you manage nothing, you just use the software. It's really just a sliding scale between control and convenience. And here's the key takeaway. The less you have to manage, the more time and energy you can focus on what actually matters, growing your business. And who are the wizards behind the curtain making all this magic happen? Well, you've probably heard of them. The big three giants in this space are Amazon Web Services, or AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. They offer pretty much every service you can imagine across all three of these models. So let's circle all the way back to the beginning. Remember our little software firm, the one that was stuck and couldn't grow? After everything we've talked about, what's the right choice for them? Well, it depends, right? If they need total control to build something really unique and custom, IaaS is probably their best bet. But if they just want to get their app built and out to customers as fast as humanly possible, PaaS is almost certainly the way to go. There's no single right answer. It all depends on the goal. And the cool thing is, now you know how to ask the right questions to find that answer.